Game dev YouTube is about to die. Its current condition is worth pitying, and it seems like the industry will never be able to reach its former glory. So let's talk. And yes, I am a game dev YouTuber myself, and I hold this genre very close to my heart, so this isn't an easy thing to say. We'll start the story off in 2013. Although game dev YouTube didn't really exist at the time, many important events took place that planted the seeds for the soon-to-be successful genre. In 2009, Unity Indie had been discontinued and was replaced with Unity, which was free to the general public, opening game dev to everyone. Paired with that, Brackeys had started his channel in 2013, releasing easy-to-follow and popular tutorials for the now new game devs. Over the span of several years, hundreds of other YouTubers would also create their own tutorials. These factors led to an incredible increase in game developers over the span of a decade, and naturally led to the introduction of Game Dev YouTube. Game Dev YouTube really began to pop off around 2018, with many of today's prominent developers showing up around then. Devlogs performed exceedingly well during the time period from 2018 to 2021, with devs like Dani, Brackeys, Sam Hogan, and countless others leading the genre. It seemed like nothing could go wrong for such a large, bustling community of video game lovers. This influx was also in part due to the COVID-19 pandemic. With so many devs at home, they had more than enough time to develop games and post interesting videos to YouTube. This is the same thing that got me into game dev. Fast forward to the present, and game dev YouTube is dying. Now, why do I say this? There are still many developers posting devlogs to their channel. Well, it comes down to 5 reasons. Firstly, let's take a look at the biggest game dev YouTubers. In first place is Dani with a whopping 3.5 million subscribers. Guess what? It seems like he's left YouTube. Second place is Brackeys, who also left YouTube a while back to follow other endeavors. Sam Hogan, the third largest game dev YouTuber, has also been gone for a while now. Even the YouTubers that still upload often have terrible upload schedules and are stuck at their current size. The loss of the top game dev YouTubers crushed a large part of the game dev community as their inspirations and fellow developers began to leave. COVID-19 kind of died out last year, and with that, so did the amount of free time developers had. A lot of them were developing their game as a side project, and with the end of the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of devs couldn't afford to develop and release videos about their side projects. The fourth problem is an inherent issue with game dev YouTube. It's incredibly difficult to do. Developing a game, oftentimes solo or in small groups, is incredibly difficult. Now on top of that, trying to consistently release good content on YouTube outlining your progress is almost impossible. Creating content is time consuming and oftentimes requires editing skills that a lot of developers don't have. Devlogs are also one of the most difficult videos to make. As developers, we're inclined to create technical content. The problem with this is that anyone who isn't a game developer won't enjoy that video. To create a good devlog, it has to be entertaining for gamers and devs alike, a mix that's incredibly difficult to achieve. Dani is a developer who was able to crack this code, and despite his upload schedule, he still found incredible success. I'm a great example of the struggle. My last video was extremely technical and was basically 6 minutes of code analysis, and because of that, the video struggled to get past 1500 views. Your average person doesn't want to sit through 10 minutes of you explaining technical aspects of your game, from code to colliders and whatnot. The final and most recent addition to this state is problems with probably one of the biggest game engines. Unity has been lagging behind and making mistakes like their reset runtime fee. This has put an additional strain on game devs, making YouTube less of a priority. A lot of game devs have also left Unity despite their long-term commitment, sometimes reaching longer than a decade. Ultimately, these factors caused the crash of such a promising industry. In order to save the industry, we need to change the one thing that's killing it: bad devlogs. It's almost entirely up to devs to make this change and save the genre. So let's see what it looks like. In order to succeed on YouTube, the vast majority of people should be able to enjoy your videos. If you make technical videos, your market is almost entirely other game devs, which accounts for a very small portion of YouTube users. A good devlog is generally one that's entertaining. People are on YouTube not to sit through 10 minutes of code analysis, but rather have fun and enjoy themselves. As a dev, you need to take advantage of this by making devlogs that are actually enjoyable to watch. I'm definitely guilty for making boring videos, so this is something I'll need to keep in mind. I'll try to make my videos more enjoyable from here on out. Another thing that would revive the industry would be the return of the biggest game dev YouTubers, especially Dani. There's clear hype surrounding his return, although it is questionable whether that will ever happen. So that's the state of game dev YouTube. I really hope that in a few years, things I've said no longer hold true. And if you like to support this channel, feel free to subscribe. With that being said, I'll see you in the next one.